we got the 180 tune in there working well. I made one rip, made 215. I think it made 210 then 215. The belt got a little more temperature in it. But yeah, 93 octane, it's 19-ish pounds of boost. But I'm gonna make it just a couple more rips to make sure that it repeats. And then we're on the race gas. I mean, this is still on stock clutch too, but we're videoing, yeah. So we're definitely pushing the limit of the factory clutch. You can see, you can hear it in the video. I'm sure you can probably hear it, but you can see it in the dynograph. I can hear it real bad. Like you'll hear this like free rev almost, and then if you look at the dynograph, it'll kind of go up goofy and then just kind of like stays put for a second. Well, I mean, we're making damn good power for a stock clutch, basically just swapping a belt. I mean, it's up from 131 stock to 210 is what, 80 horsepower? 80 horsepower increase. So the 93 octane tunes, we run about 19 pounds of boost. And then the 91 octane tunes, we run about 18 pounds of boost. So that kind of goes back to that, you know, 170 versus 180. The 170, we can push on 93 pretty hard, but we can push that boost on 91 octane as well. And then the 180, we can push the boost up 19, 20 pounds of boost on 93, but the boost is still pretty low on 91 octane. So, I really wanted to push the factory clutch more, but I think it's kind of becoming time that we either throw the TAPP on there or put a clutch kit in it. I mean, it's pretty good right now, but it's just slipping on the beginning. Just slipping in the beginning. But it's, I mean, with that belt, and the slip also will make the engine speed look lower. So like if you're slipping the belt real bad in the secondary, you'll generally watch engine speed fall a little bit. Even though you're adding power, the secondary cannot resist the shift enough. So it just sucks the belt into the secondary and puts you in a gear up continuously. It just keeps putting you in the wrong gear. So, I mean, it's kind of the overshift in the beginning is it's slipping the belt, maybe in the primary a little bit, and then you'll watch the engine speed fall dramatically, and that's generally when we see the belt slide in the secondary. But, I mean, it's pretty damn good power. I'm really impressed with this machine. Like, I mean, obviously my 120 model that we built Project 120 off of is a pretty sweet machine, but this thing is definitely rocking. So we're gonna do race gas. I'm gonna try the race gas tune. If it's just completely junk, then we'll do a clutch kit, and we'll just keep moving on. All right, TAPP clutch. In case you are like, you want a bunch of cool colors, you can get them in black, orange, or bare. But don't ask about custom colors because it's a pain to deal with. But, so, instead of your natural, like factory Can-Am clutch where your arms sit like this and they swing out this way, these ones have your arms sit like this and they swing out this way. And then there's ramps. If you look in here, there's ramps right here that the arm basically rides on and follows. So you have a spring to fight. You just have a spring just like normal to fight the arm, and then you have ramps that basically would be your angle of attack per se. It's kind of a cool design, really. If you want to, you can go in here and unbolt the ramp right here. You can unbolt the ramp and then flip it around and put it back in. It'll be like, because it's on the A ramp right now, you can flip it and put it on the B ramp. So that can change your engagement or how the clutch shifts and things like that. I haven't really played with it, but basically some guys can just dune or have a really low engagement, like a real trail happy 2000 RPM engagement on like an A ramp. If you flip it to the B ramp, it can go up to like 26, 2700. You know, there's an array of springs. There's like different weights that you can put on these things. So you basically access the weights through these holes. There's little threaded holes on that arm, so you can add, basically this is like, I would guess this is going to be tip weight, and then there's another weight inside here that is like a bolt that goes all the way through this thing, and I would guess that you can get it out, but that might be one that you remove the cover for. So you would just take the cover off, get to those arms and adjust them, but you can make quick adjustments right here. And you can also change, this thing here is like a cam. So you can just quickly go from, say, position, that's 3 dots. You can go to position 1. That's going to change that profile that ramp rolls on. So a lot of adjustment with this thing is pretty cool. There's also a feature that we did for the bigger power cars where they get a like a spline setup. We haven't tested this on like a huge power car yet, but Chris has this clutch on his car. It's making some serious steam. We just haven't like really like launched the heck out of it yet. But that's a really cool feature to try to prevent that primary from spinning. That's been like a huge problem in the program is spinning the clutch on the taper. But yeah, I mean, this thing's supposedly really quiet. I'd be curious to see how much quieter it is. I guess, you know, like the spider movement is encapsulated in these pretty nice billet design piece here. I mean, this thing's billet, right? So like the whole thing's just encapsulated. But definitely a cool design. Really curious to see if it picks up some powers. That's what I'm most interested in. So James is doing position 4. This thing was pre-set up from Chris around 200 horsepower is what he said. So we'll see how it acts. So we won't need to make any adjustments right now, just put it on there. So, cool. The 93 Octane. We just poured the 85 in it. So generally the way I do it is I'll let it run for a while on the gas tune just to idle some of the gas out of the fuel line that's in the rail. And then I'm going to flash the 85 tune over and make some holes and see how that goes. They just didn't put a cat in it. Kind of interesting that they always have, and now in 22 they don't. So I mean, this thing's just straight on through, and this part number is the same that's on my 21RR. Still has the stock exhaust on it. So I mean, you look in here with a light, and there's definitely no cat in there. We put our Q exhaust on it. It's like the quietest version. My race car is loud enough, you know what I mean? So, try to keep the other ones a little more quiet. But it's resonated down pipe and then muffler in the rear.
You gonna do some rips?
Yeah, we're gonna do some rips. See how much this exhaust helps. Including that the OEM exhaust is still pretty decent up until, I don't know, I can't remember what our last test was. When we did all the tests, I think the Trail picked up like 3 horsepower back then.
The Trail race pipe did.
Is that what we had on it?
We had like that aluminum, the aluminum.
Was it a race pipe?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, so, you know, it kind of goes back to the note you want to hear, I feel. I mean, there comes a point when, yes, it's going to start getting in the way, but I don't think it's, you know, something to really talk about that much in terms of like huge horsepower gains. So people love the sound. I mean, the exhaust is all about the sound, like no doubt. I think over 250 horsepower is when you really start to notice that it's like inching up on the gains. So we made 233 with the same configuration plus our Q exhaust. So it's like a 3 horsepower gain, I think. 3 horsepower gain. I want to get the Pro to make more power than the rest of them. So I think if we make 245 with the Pro, 250 with the Pro, then we'll go out and race all these machines and see how they stack up against each other. So, all right, dudes, to it.